Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
All right, so week 14 of the Battle of Ohio podcast predictions. Not looking so good for me lately because right now Thomas is beating me 67-53 on the season. And so that means he's 14 games ahead of me, which means we're starting to get to the point that even with like me having a perfect week and him getting every single game wrong, that wouldn't even save me. We're not quite there yet, but we're starting to get there. And if we get there before week 17, then there's no point in even keeping up with. I mean, I'll still say it just for the sake of doing it, and it's fun to do these predictions, so we're not going to stop doing them. But there's no point in really taking it seriously as a competition at that point.
I'm sipping my sweet tea.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've been getting better. I had a really rough start, but I've been getting better. I just need to stop counting on the Bears, which is actually going to be pretty hard this week, given who they play. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to stop counting on the Bears. But like I said, I've been doing better. So hopefully next year I'll get off to a better start, and maybe this will be a real competition. Let's go ahead and get into these games, though. So first off, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs up against the Miami Dolphins. So
it's going to be a fun game.
Enough, decent number of playoff implications here, because the Dolphins obviously are fighting to the Dolphins right now, I think, are fighting to get. Am I right in saying this, that they're fighting to get back into playoff positioning? Because I think that I think they're in it right now.
Yeah, they're in it.
They're fighting to hold on to that number 7 seed. The Chiefs are fighting for the number 1 seed from the Steelers, hoping the Steelers maybe drop another one and give them a chance to overtake that number 1 seed. But anyway, who do you got in this game, Thomas?
I don't think that this is going to be a guaranteed win for the Chiefs, because the Dolphins aren't pushovers. So nothing for the Dolphins. It's pretty decent. The Chiefs haven't really looked like I won't say they don't look like world beaters, because they have Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes the Chiefs can get a little arrogant. And they could drop a game here or there. I don't think that. I want to go with the Chiefs, because I don't think the Chiefs are going to lose. Because I think the only people that can beat the Chiefs are the Chiefs in the regular season right now. I don't think they're going to underestimate the Dolphins, because I think they're trying to get that number 1 seed. So I don't think the Chiefs are going to trip right here. But man, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think that the Dolphins are going to put up a really good fight.
I don't know if I agree. I'm going to agree with your pick. I'm going with the Chiefs. But I don't know if I agree that the Dolphins are going to do much this week, because, I mean, to be completely honest with you, the Dolphins just have not looked like the Dolphins got really hot there for a minute, kind of out of nowhere. But it's just the last couple of weeks, they lost to the Broncos. They could have lost to my Bengals with Brandon Allen at quarterback. I mean, this Dolphins team just the last couple of weeks has not really been impressing me that much. I think Tua Tagovailoa playing this week is going to be not good for Tua. I think he's going to have a very bad game, and it's not going to look good for the Dolphins, which sucks. I kind of like the Dolphins. I kind of like to see them do well, especially Tua. I really respect Tua, and I'd like to see him do well. I don't see it this week.
Yeah, I agree.
By the way, just to go ahead and make a point, the Patriots and the Rams already played, and for the first time this year, we actually didn't remember to do our predictions. A couple of times this year, we've texted each other before the games, and we've done them, but we didn't do that this time. So
I thought about it, but I was like, nah.
Yeah. Well,
It's like,
I'm
nah,
kind of
this is-
I'm kind of glad that we didn't do that because I would have picked the Patriots. So now I don't have to count that as a loss. Yay. Um. So yeah, just so everybody knows that we can't make predictions after the game's already happened, and we're not going to lie to you and pretend like we did or anything like that. So you
oh my
know,
God, the Rams are going to win.
Patriots.
I tell the future. I'm joking.
Well,
We're recording for Tuesday. No, I'm joking. What's going to happen on Wednesday?
Next week, there is a Thursday game for now. Who knows how the schedule is actually going to work? But next week the Raiders and Chargers play each other on Thursday, so we'll try to remember to do the predictions before that. But this week there's only, I believe, 13 games that we're actually predicting, so the record's going to look a little awkward on the recap episode. Anyway, back to the predictions. Let's talk about the Titans and Jaguars. Or do we need to? Is there really much we need to say?
No, the Titans need a rebound game after that Browns game. Actually, you know what? Speaking of the Titans actually look really good in the second half. That momentum from the second half. Ryan Tannehill got momentum. Derrick Henry's going to want to like get off the couch. He was on the couch last week.
Yeah. And not to mention this Jaguars team is not good.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I actually heard a story about how Gardner Minshew was basically begging to go back in last week against the who did they play last week? The Vikings. Gardner Minshew was begging to go back in against the Vikings. They're saying he's hurt. Sounds like Gardner Minshew isn't hurt. They're just trying not to play him because it sounds like what they're doing is tanking. It sounds like they're playing the inferior quarterback because they don't want Gardner Minshew to prove himself, and they want to go get the new shiny quarterback and reinvigorate the fans, and it's going to be harder to do that if you have Gardner Minshew supporters who are like, oh, he's been playing well at the end of the year. You don't want any doubt on a decision like that. So I think the Jaguars are intentionally trying to look bad right now and intentionally trying to go get Trevor Lawrence, which I don't think they're going to get because the Jets are just awful. But I do think that's what's happening. So the Titans, however, are not tanking and, are definitely not safe as far as the playoff conversation is considered. So, yeah, I agree with you. The Titans are just you don't even really need to analyze this one too much just beyond, like, the Jaguars don't seem to want to win, and the Titans definitely do want to win.
Yeah.
So, let's move on. Colts Raiders. This one's interesting. This one is really...
This one's fun.
Man, I'm going back and forth on this one to tell you the truth. This one is going to be big for either of these two teams. It actually, weirdly enough, doesn't really actually make any difference to the Browns because whoever wins, well, no, I guess it does make a little bit of a difference to the Browns.
Well, yeah, but
you guys probably want the Raiders to win because if the Colts win, then there's a team on your, like, one game on your tail, which would be the Colts at 9-4. But if the Raiders win, then the closest team to you would be 8-5, and that would be the Raiders. So
I wouldn't mind seeing the Colts win the division.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to do that because the Titans beat the Jaguars.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they both win, because they got even records, right? They're both 8-4 right now. So if the Colts win,
no, you mean the Titans and the Colts? Yeah, they're both 8-4.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing the Colts win the division because the Browns don't win the division. They're gonna play probably an AFC South team.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to pick, I'd rather play the Colts in the first round than the Titans in the first round. So I would rather want to see
play the Titans.
I'd rather play the Colts.
All right.
I'd rather play the Colts.
Who do you think is going to win?
I think if the Titans get a second look at us, I think they'll beat us. This game, I'm actually going to go with the Colts. Actually, I think that this Raiders team is kind of unraveling. You talk about teams unraveling. Dolphins, this Raiders team, they got that big win earlier in the season against the Chiefs, and that kind of propelled them. But then ironically they come back and they lose to the Chiefs, which was kind of which was expected. But after they lose to the Chiefs, they lose to the what's them called they lose to the Atlanta Falcons, who isn't a bad team, but you should be able to beat the Atlanta Falcons. They struggle against the Jets.
They didn't just lose to the Falcons. They got hurt by the Falcons.
Yeah, and they only beat the Jets by a field goal. The Jets. They only beat the Jets by a field goal.
Which is actually crazy to me, because if you look at the stats, like the defense had a fine game, Derek Carr had a fine game. It's really kind of hard to really look at. It's kind of like if you look at the stats of like the Browns and Ravens game from earlier this year, and it's kind of it. You can tell that the Browns lost, but it doesn't look like the Browns got absolutely destroyed. But like that, the Raiders Jets game, it doesn't look like the Raiders did anything particularly badly against the Jets. It's just magically the Jets kind of showed up.
Wait, hold on. Did you watch this game, by the way?
What, the Raiders and Jets?
Yeah.
I watched bits and pieces of it, but not the whole thing. No.
Apparently, there was a 46-yard pass with 5 seconds left from Derek Carter, Henry Ricks III.
Yeah,
to win
and then the very
I don't know how I missed that.
The very last play was a Hail Mary attempt by Derek Carr. That 46-yard pass from Derek Carr. Greg Williams called a zero blitz on it.
That's why he got fired.
So, he got fired because he basically just handed them the game.
That's why you get fired. Anyway, with that said, I'm picking the Colts. I think the Raiders are unraveling.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth on this. Like, just I don't think I've been this torn on a game. I was pretty torn last week on the Bears and Lions. But I'm pretty torn on this one. I can
see why.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Raiders just because the Raiders are at home, and I think the Raiders lately have been getting. I mean, obviously that game against the Falcons, that was bad, but for the most part, I think the Raiders have been fine. They did lose to the Chiefs, but they played the Chiefs pretty well. Before that, they beat the Broncos. Before that, they beat the Chargers. Before that, they beat the Browns. And then, I mean, it's been since week 7 before that they, even lost a game. So I don't know. I think the Falcons game was a fluke. And like I said, I think they did fine against the Jets. It's just the Jets magically fucking showed up for once. So I don't know. Like I think the Raiders are a lot better than people are giving them credit for. And I don't know. I don't trust Phillip Rivers in pressure situations. So again, because it's in Las Vegas, and I'm really not confident on this pick, but I wouldn't be confident picking the Colts either. So I'm going to go with the Raiders. So, let's see. We got.
I was looking at the highlights from this game Sunday because I did not watch this Raiders Jets game, and I'm just perplexed how they let this game be.
Would have been
like they had a chance. I'm looking at this. First of all, how did the Jets lose this game, by the way?
Because they're the Jets. That's why they lost that game, because they're the Jets. I think they want to go 0-16.
They had that 4th down stand against the. Never mind. Let's move on, because I don't want to enjoy time on this.
All right. So, technically, the next game on the slate is Patriots-Rams, but as I already said, that game has already happened now. Rams won, and me and Thomas forgot to predict it, so we're just not doing that game this week. So next game on the slate is the Bears Texans, and I am very mad at you, Chicago Bears. You're making me look stupid. And I really, really, really don't want to pick the Bears again because I'm very mad at them.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not going to do it. I believe in you, Deshaun Watson. I'm done with the Bears. I'm done. I'm picking the Texans.
You know what, Kyle?
What?
I think I want to pick the Bears this week.
Fuck you.
Not because not because just because like your luck with the Bears has been horrible, but because I don't know, it's I just don't believe in Romeo Cornell. That's it. I mean, I don't.
Romeo
the Texans.
Cornell's been getting this Texans team to play better than Bill O'Brien ever did.
That's true. I mean, they haven't been playing. The Houston they put together a good couple of weeks, the last couple of weeks. They beat the Lions, they beat the Patriots, they beat the Jaguars, they beat teams that they should beat. But I'm going to Bears.
I swear to God, Thomas, if the Bears win this game and you picked the Bears and I decided to pick against them, I'm going to march straight down to Soldier Field, give Mitch Trubisky a piece of my fucking mind.
I thought like this. I'm like, oh, this is definitely a game that he's going to pick the Bears, right? Like, this.
I was gonna.
Okay.
I had them picked. I was like, this. I don't like the Texans. I'm going to take the Bears. But like, as we got to it, I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, the Texans are playing better, and the Bears are. I hate them. I hate you.
Dad, you're getting a win this week. Give me the Bears. The Bears.
What if the Bears make the playoffs? What if the Bears win this game and then they go on like run the last like they win out and then like somebody does like the Cardinals just fall off or something and the Bears somehow inexplicably make the playoffs at 9-7.
Very, very possible. I mean, we're talking about the fucking. We are talking about the fucking. We are talking about the fucking NFC. Yeah. Very possible. Right. Like 9 wins probably get you in the playoff in the NFC.
Yeah. That's all right. So next game we got the Denver Broncos traveling to Carolina to play the Panthers. What you got?
Carolina, they have been looking up and down this year, but I think I want to pick them during this game. I think the Panthers got this game.
All right.
I just think there's so many problems with Denver right now. Drew Luck, he looked good at moments. I think they said that Drew Luck's going to play this game. He's back. He practiced. He had full practice. But I'm gonna go with Carolina this game.
Okay. You said you were taking the Colts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. I am going to disagree with you on this one. I think the Broncos, out of the two teams, have looked like the better team lately. Now, obviously, they had that game where they didn't have a quarterback and they looked like trash. But I mean,
well, who wouldn't?
The Chiefs would look like trash if they had to start Kendall Hinton. I mean, like, come on.
If anybody to start, the only team that I think that could get away with starting a receiver at quarterback is the New England Patriots because they pretty much do have a receiver at quarterback.
Yeah, I guess kind of. But I think for the most part, when Drew Lock is in there, the Broncos have really the Broncos have looked like a team that was ready to go compete this year, and they were because I mean, if you remember the beginning of this. Like back before the season started, a lot of people were talking about the Broncos as potential playoff contenders this year. And then they had all those injuries and they had a bunch of issues and they kind of fell off from there. But the Broncos are a talented team who I think has been playing a little bit better lately. And the Panthers the Panthers just consistently disappoint me week after week after week after week. except the times when I pick against them. So maybe this is one of those situations where I screw up and the Panthers win. But I don't know. It feels to me like out of the two, the Broncos have been playing better, and I'm gonna bet on them this week.
Yep.
So the Seattle Seahawks are hosting the New Jersey Jets. Seahawks did just lose to the New Jersey Giants.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Seahawks.
Okay.
Man, Russ, man, he just had a bad game.
He's been having a couple of bad games, to be honest with you.
I know. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that his season last year was a lot better than his season this year.
Look, listen to me. If the Jets get their heads out of their asses and they just start Joe Flacco, then I'm telling you, Thomas, the Seahawks are still going to win because they're just the better team.
I didn't know they benched Joe Flacco. I haven't watched the Jets game.
Well, they've had. I mean, Sam Darnold's the starter. I think the only reason that Joe Flacco was playing was because Darnold was hurt or something like that.
Yeah, Sam Darnold. Yeah.
Also, like
I think you should restart.
Sam Darnold's the future, but I think they're trying to get as much tape on Sam Darnold as they can so that they can trade him away. I think that's the main reason why they're putting Darnold in.
I don't think Sam Darnold's career is over.
Oh,
He's so young.
I think his career in New York is
He's so young. He's so young.
Oh yeah.
And like I really think that the Patriots picked him up.
I've actually heard the best destination, the most likely destination for him. I heard.
He's 23.
I know that was Carson Wentz. Never mind.
He's 23, and he don't turn 24. He don't turn 24 till June of next year. Keep in mind, Joe Burrow's 24. He just turned 24 today.
Yeah,
like he's so young,
and Joe Burrow's so old.
Man,
like by young quarterback standards, anyway.
I really wonder what would happen if he went to the Patriots.
He won't. I mean, he could like go sign with the Patriots as a free agent, but the Jets won't trade him.
That's what I'm saying. Well, no, what I'm saying is that you're right. They're not gonna trade with the Patriots because I think the Jets know that he got something else. Like it's not like he doesn't have he has the intangibles. 6'3". He has a solid arm. His arm's not bad. Like he's very fixable.
Well,
he's very fixable.
He's got a lot of decision-making problems right now, and I think a lot of that just has to do with the issues that he's had in New York just compounding themselves.
You could fix that though. You put it, man. I don't know.
Fix that.
Man, I really do think the best situation for him is the Patriots. It's not going to happen, like you said. Jets are not going to send him to the Patriots because he got to be traded, right? They're going to end up trading him, right?
They're
not going to release him.
Trade him,
yeah, they're not trading him to the Patriots. They're probably going to trade him like I don't know where they're probably going to trade him, but he's probably going to get traded to another bad. He's going to get traded to another bad situation is going to happen.
He's probably going to get traded to an NFC. If I had to bet, probably an NFC team. Maybe the
Panthers to be a good place for him.
Oh, that was who I heard. Yeah, the Panthers. That was who I heard was probably the most likely case scenario for him.
Panthers make a lot of sense.
I totally see Matt Rule wanting to pick him up and adding him as the new guy in town. And but then again, I've also heard that Teddy Bridgewater's been playing well enough that maybe he could be considered the future.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying if you're the Panthers, I'm not saying you should give up on Bridgewater, but here you got a chance to get a young quarterback in Darnold. I'll make that trade around the Panthers. Let's put Darnold on the bench, make him learn for a little while. He's only 23 years old. Like you can put him on. If you give Sam Darnold a clipboard for 2 years, he's gonna be 25. Like, what do you mean? And that's still really young and growing. He's growing. He is still growing. He came in the league at such a young age. He was one of the youngest quarterbacks to ever come into the league. Man, I really do think that you should. I really do think. I think Carolina would be a good situation for him.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't know. I'm just thinking about, huh? I think the best spot for him in the league is the Patriots, but he ain't ever going to the Patriots. I think the Patriots would be the perfect destination for him. Like I just think the
That's
Patriots
exactly
would
why the
be
Jets won't send him there.
like I just think that I think the Patriots will make him a Pro Bowl quarterback. Like I really do. I think the Patriots would be like, all right, give us 2 years to just mold you, and I think they would mold because like man, if I'm a veteran head coach, if I'm a veteran head coach, and I got an aging quarterback, I am jumping on the opportunity to get Sam Darnold.
Right. So let's move on to the next game. We got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. What are your
Um,
thoughts?
the Chargers didn't look good last week at all.
Nope.
Um, Herbert's in that slump. Huh.
What better opportunity to potentially get him out though?
I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Falcons here.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the Falcons. Yeah, the Falcons aren't. This Falcons team perplexed me because like technically the Falcons they have a lot of offensive weapons on this team. Like you still have all Matt Ryan is not really a bad QB. Would you say he's a bad quarterback?
No, I don't know. He's a good quarterback.
Calvin
He's a
Ridley,
solid quarterback.
You got Todd Gurley, who's not a bad running back. I mean, like he has his injury issues and stuff, but he's not a bad running back. Calvin Ridley, I like him a lot. It's only his second season in the league, right? Yeah. I like Calvin Ridley a lot. I like a lot of things about Ridley. He's a young receiver who's improving every game. So I'll go with the Falcons this game. I think I'm going to take the Falcons this game. What about you?
I am also going to take the Falcons, and I'll tell you why. So you brought up Todd Gurley. Do you remember what this year Todd Gurley is most remembered for?
No, because I can't remember him. The only thing I can remember him doing is leaving LA.
He forgot, or no, he didn't forget. He scored too quickly against the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah,
he tried to stop himself from falling into the end zone and then didn't.
I do remember that.
The Lions had time to go march down the field and then did, and they won the game.
Yeah, and that's another thing about this. That's another thing about this. This Falcons team is that they just lost some like games, like just the worst fashion possible.
Okay, but here's the thing about that. Those were all the first 7 weeks of the season, right?
Yeah.
Since Todd Gurley basically like embarrassed himself in doing what a running back is supposed to do, by the way, which is go score the touchdown. And he tried. He like got there. He was like, "Oh shit, no, I didn't mean it." Oh, and then he fell. But you know what the Falcons have done since then is they have beat every team they've played except the Saints. And they've played well against the Saints both games.
And no shame in losing to the Saints, though, for real.
So I would. Now you know who else got swept by the Saints is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I wouldn't describe them as a bad football team. But I would say since the most recent 6 weeks of the season, I would describe the Atlanta Falcons as a good football team that Had they not had just this historically awful start to the season, I would totally be putting them in the playoff conversation. Unfortunately, that just ridiculously awful start that they had pretty much killed all their chances of a good start. But see, the thing is, I don't think that the Los Angeles Chargers are a good football team. I think their best asset is Justin Herbert, who even then I think is super erratic and I mean, he's a rookie, so I wouldn't necessarily say that that's like, this big condemnation, but, he definitely, from time to time, exhibits a lot of those qualities that I was worried about him. Or that I was worried about for him when I said that he was going to be a bust. Now, obviously, he's not a bust, but he does exhibit those qualities from time to time. And it's been, the more the season's kind of gone along, the more you've kind of been seeing that come out. And the Chargers don't really have a whole lot else around him. So you've got a team that, like I said, right now looks like they could have been in the playoff conversation had it not been for that awful start to the season. You've got a Falcons team playing like a playoff team right now, going up against a Chargers team that might be as bad as anybody. So I don't see any reason to think that anything would happen other than a Falcons victory this week.
Yeah. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I'm looking at this. This Falcons team just have too much talent to be 4-8 too, man. They just got too much freaking talent. I don't think they should. We talk about Kevin Stefanski, not taking everything and just destroying it, but building on top of things that you have there. I kind of hope the Falcons do that next year, because this Falcons team, they got too much talent on this team to be this bad. It's perplexing.
Well, seems like for some reason, which is weird, because like I always thought Dan Quinn was like a good hire for them, but like they fired him and suddenly they're like playing like a playoff team. What the hell? Like, was it really all Dan Quinn's fault? This is weird. Because like I said, he seems like he's a good enough. He's definitely a good guy. He seems like he's a good enough coach. So like, what like, how did that solve their problems? I don't know. Let's move on to the next game. We got the Minnesota Vikings going to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers.
Can I go first? Go first. All right. This is gonna be my big upset of the week. I'm putting my big upset of the week. This is gonna be my big upset of the week. I'm going with the Vikings this game. And the reason why I'm making this my big upset of the week is because Tampa Bay has simply been collapsing. And there's something that first of all, the worst breakup in history. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, both of them are struggling, and I think it's going to continue to struggle ever since the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have signed Antonio Brown. They've been what, 1-3? Is that correct? Am I right there? They've been 1-3 since they signed Antonio Brown, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. No. Yeah. 1-3. Yep. Since they signed Antonio Brown right before the Saints game, the lost Saints game. They beat Carolina Panthers. They lost to the Rams, and they lost to the Chiefs. Now, granted, those 3 losses are against really good teams, and they are coming back from a bye, and they are well rested. But with all that said, this Vikings team has been ascending while this Tampa Bay team has been descending. Now, I still think Tampa Bay is going to make the playoffs. I still think they're going to win 10 wins because they have the Falcons twice and the Lions. I think they're going to probably sweep the end of the season. But this Minnesota Vikings team is, and they have been for the last 5 years, the second half of the season team. Since week 8, since week 8, the Minnesota Vikings have won 5 of the last 6. They have beat the Green Bay Packers. They have beat the Lions. They have beat the Bears. They lost to the Cowboys perplexingly, but they beat the Panthers and they beat the Jaguars, which took overtime, but they still beat the Jaguars. So they fought back to get to 6-6. They fought back to get to 500. They got that fight in them. They got the momentum going. They have their blood pumping. Dalvin Cook, enough said. Give me the Vikings for upset this week over Tampa Bay and Tom Brady.
All right. Um,
You know, by the way, I lightly kind of don't mind the Vikings. I never have a problem seeing the Vikings. Like, if there's one team I don't mind winning, it's the Vikings. Because when I was at OU, I slept with a girl who was a Vikings fan. Oh boy. Oh man. Oh my God. Oh my God. I wonder what she's doing right now.
Well, for different reasons, I've always kind of liked the Vikings and never quite had that experience. But I don't know.
Maybe that's too R for this podcast. Anyway, no chance that half y'all said it, but yeah.
I don't know if
that's why
hardcore. I don't care. People listen to this podcast. They want to hear interesting stuff, and that's definitely interesting.
That's for hardcore Battle of Ohio podcast. Oh boy.
I don't know. I feel what you're saying. I do, and I think it's reasonable, but I don't know. I don't know. I want the Vikings to win this game, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think I can agree with you on this one. I think the Buccaneers are starting to kind of back themselves into a corner with some of these bad losses that they've been having lately, and I don't know. I think that Bruce Arians and Tom Brady, they're too experienced to let this trend continue going in this direction. I think this is a bit of a get right game this week. Partly because like I know Dalvin Cook is great, but if there's one thing that Buccaneers defense does well, it's stop the run. So I don't know. I think it's a good matchup. I think it could be a close game, but I think ultimately I would say that the Buccaneers are probably going to win this game. So let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals and the New York Giants.
Arizona Cardinals and Giants. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be actually. I think it's gonna be a good game. That Giants defense. Don't look at it for the totality of the season. Look at the Giants defense the last couple of games. That Giants defense the last couple of games has been pretty good. There's a chance that Daniel Jones to play, who's an upgrade from Colt McCoy, obviously. But I'm actually gonna go Cardinals this game. I'm gonna go Cardinals this game. I think they get back on track. I think the Cardinals had a couple of tough opponents the last couple of weeks. Young team trying to figure out how to win. I don't think it's a talent issue with them. I just think that it's an experience thing with them. And I think when they go against teams that are more experienced than them, they show up short. But this is not a game that I think that they're going to show up short. I'm going to go to Cardinals.
I agree. I don't know if I so much agree with your assessment about Daniel Jones being that much better than Colt McCoy. He's definitely more.
He's not that much better. I say a slight upgrade. I meant to say a slight upgrade. That's what I meant to say. I meant to say a slight upgrade. I don't know. I'm sorry. Let me make this clear. He is a slight upgrade from Colt McCoy.
But just mainly because of the physical tools that Daniel Jones has that Colt McCoy doesn't have. Outside of that, like, I don't know. I think effectiveness wise, there's not that much of a functional difference between Colt McCoy and Daniel Jones. So I don't think I really care too much who's in at quarterback for the Giants. I think the Cardinals are starting to get their backed up against the wall. As far as like, it's kind of starting to be like do or die time. Are you a playoff team or are you not a playoff team? And if you are a
I'm rooting
playoff
for you,
team,
Colt.
you have to win games like this.
I'm rooting for you, Colt. Kite winner.
I'm not really rooting for anybody. I could give a shit what happens in this game, to be honest with you. Kyler Murray is my fantasy quarterback, but I have got a bye week this week because I'm the number 2 seed in the playoffs. So I don't really have to worry about what happens in this game. But I still think that the Cardinals find a way to pull it out against the Giants. I don't even know if it's really going to be that close of a game because I still don't. I know the Giants have been having some good games here and there lately, but again, it's another team that almost lost to my Bengals. So they ain't that damn good. I don't know. I'll take the I'll take the Cardinals in this one. I'm not really going to look back. Next up, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. I'll go ahead and go first on this one. I thought about maybe making this one my upset of the week, because we have seen the Packers kind of play down the competition this year in certain cases. But I also said that about them against the Bears, and then they came out and trounced the Bears. And when I think about from a matchup perspective, I don't see any reason to think that, I mean, unless Adrian Peterson just goes back to like 2007 form out of nowhere. But other than that, I can't think of any anything from like a matchup perspective why the Lions might have a good chance of winning this game. Like I said, unless Adrian Peterson just comes alive out of nowhere. But other than that, I think the Packers pretty much have him beat at every single turn. So I'm gonna take the Packers on this one, and probably go towards my better instincts, and not try to pick the upset just for the sake of picking the upset.
I'm going with the Packers.
Yep.
I'm not going to explain. I'm just going with the Packers.
Yeah. I don't believe in Detroit at all, any way, shape, or form. 49ers,
yeah, I don't believe Detroit exists.
Probably not. The San Francisco 49ers are hosting the Washington football team. Two not so great teams who are maybe also better than you expect that they are. I think the 49ers, I think they both have the same record right now, right? They're both 5-7.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in both cases, I think both teams maybe should be taken a little bit more seriously than you would really think you should, because Washington's been playing better lately than they were at the beginning of the season. And the 49ers have just kind of been consistently competitive all year, even though they've only won a handful of games. But considering all the injuries and the issues that they've had, you'd think they shouldn't have even won as many as they did.
Yeah, the 49ers, man, they just coaching. That's just coaching right there. And speaking of coaching, how do you not be inspired from what Ron Rivera is doing with this Washington team after just 1 year? That Washington team last year was really bad. They do look better than they did last year.
Oh, they look way better than they did last year.
Yeah, shout out to Ron Rivera, man. I really like that. I really like him as a coach. I'm kind of upset that it didn't work out the way it should have in Carolina. But things happen. He got second chance. Good for him. I like the Alex Smith story. Alex Smith, and he looks good. He looks solid. Solid. Let's not forget, Alex Smith is a veteran. He has been there before. This is a playoff hunt. Washington got more to play for than 49ers, so give me Washington this game. I'm going to Washington. And they look good against Steelers. They look really good against Steelers. That's nothing to sleep on. I'm going Washington.
I don't know. I don't think you can count out Kyle Shanahan. I think
You sure can.
I think every time I try to count out the 49ers this year, they pull something out of their asses and they get it done.
Kyle Shanahan's a hell of a coach.
Right. I think Washington, despite playing decently well lately, I think there's still plenty of holes on that team that need to be fixed before they're really competing week in and week out. I know they beat the Steelers, and that was a big, important win for them to stay competitive with the Giants in the division after the Giants beat the Seahawks. But I think both the Giants and the football team are going to show this week that they're, big, huge their big, huge, massive upsets in Week 13 were kind of fluky. So I'm going with the 49ers this week.
Okay.
All right. So, and then the final non-AFC North game that we have for this week is the New Orleans Saints going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. The Jalen Hurts Philadelphia Eagles, by the way. What you got, Thomas?
Man, I am so excited to see Jalen Hurts play this weekend. Now I'm already excited for this kid. He the few plays that he played, the few plays that he did play last week, he looked good. But even still, the Saints are probably the best team in the NFC. Taysom Hill does look good in the absence of he's a very capable quarterback. Like I was trying to say last week, he was a quarterback for BYU. Injuries really derailed his career, but BYU, when he was quarterbacking for BYU, they were upsetting some teams. He's one of the reasons why BYU they was independent and they thought that they could make a run. And I was actually when I was in 2016 when I was in school, I had tickets to the BYU Michigan game. I went to that game, and the reason why I picked that game is I wanted to actually see Taysom Hill play at quarterback, but he got injured 2 weeks before the game. Kid's good, man. Like, he got potential. Like, he's not when people say, oh yeah, he's just a tight end playing quarterback, it's not no experiment. Like, he legit played quarterback in high school and college. Like, he has legit quarterback history. He converted himself to the tight end so he could play in the NFL. He changed his playing style so he playing in the NFL. This is not just some random tight end playing quarterback. He has the skills, the raw skills to play quarterback. It's just about if you can hone in those skills. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Saints. I think the Saints are going to win. I think Taysom Hill is going to be a very servable quarterback. I think Taysom Hill is very capable. Is a very capable quarterback because he was a capable quarterback in college, and I think he's going to be a capable quarterback in the pros. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar or anything like that. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro quarterback or a Pro Bowler, even that. But I think that in this offense, in this Saints offense, I think that Taysom Hill could run his offense effectively. And I think Sean Payton is going to use him correctly to at least get them to the playoffs. And I'm a believer in Taysom Hill for right now.
Mm-hmm.
You got that?
Yeah. No, I got you.
Saints. Love you, Hurt. Saints. I think Hurt's gonna look good though. I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna look real good.
I feel what you're saying, but I don't know. Maybe I'm more excited for Jalen Hurts than you are, which is weird.
Oh no, I'm excited about Jalen Hurts. Trust me, I am very excited. You know how much I love my OU quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's the wrong OU. But see, Here's my thing though. The reason I say that I might be more excited for Jalen Hurts than you are, because I'm going to go ahead and make this my big upset of the week. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles on riding the high of their new starting quarterback, who, like you said, is playing pretty well up against the New Orleans Saints team that I felt honestly could have. Like when they played the Broncos, what was that, like 2 weeks ago? I feel like 2 weeks ago they played the Broncos and they really should have come out. They should have spanked the Broncos just to hell and back. And I feel like they got a decisive victory, sure, but it wasn't like I don't know. I felt like I could have saw more out of that game. And then you had they've been, maybe it's just because the Falcons play them well. I'm not sure, but you've been having I don't know. The Saints haven't looked like, outside of playing the Buccaneers and a couple of games here and there, the Saints have not really looked like really true world beaters to me, and especially with Drew Brees not being there. I was like, I like Taysom Hill. I think he's good, but I think he also has struggles from time to time, and I think there's stuff that he does need to work on. Now, obviously, Jalen Hurts is going to have plenty of stuff he's going to need to work on, being a rookie and all. But I don't know. I think there's going to be something about something about that new blood in there that's going to spur this Eagles team that has got to get a win if they want to, have any chance of like turning things around and like competing for the for the toilet crown of this division. So I'm gonna pick the Eagles in the unbelievable upset here over the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
So let's get on to these AFC North games then. The first of all, let's go to the one that only involves one AFC North team that we don't like. Let's talk about the Steelers and Bills. I'll go ahead and.
Sorry, go ahead. You go first. You always
yeah,
go.
well,
I always go first.
I've made you go.
I always go first. No,
I know.
always go first.
I've
You go
made
first.
you go first a lot, so I'll take the bullet on this one.
Go for it. I want to hear this.
I'm going to take the Bills.
What you got for me?
I'm going to take the Bills because I just, the same reason why I wasn't that surprised when the Steelers lost to the Washington football team, because the Steelers just have not looked, in my opinion, they have not looked like this great, amazing team at all this year, outside of like maybe like, the game against the Browns and the game against the Bengals. And outside of that, they just have not looked like a team that ought to be a double-digit win team in Week 14. The Bills, however, that offense has been cooking. I know the Steelers have a good pass rush, but like I said before, I don't think that it's going to make enough of a difference against Josh Allen's play style to make a big difference. And not to mention, like the Steelers are going to have to rely entirely on Ben Roethlisberger's arm. And that's been biting them in the butt all season. That's why they've been having these close games, is because they can't really manage games only throwing the ball all the time. So give me the Bills.
Okay. I am going with the Bills too. I think that there's a lot of turmoil in the with the Steelers right now. I think they are trending downward right now. I think this is going to be a game the Steelers are going to struggle, and I just think that the Bills, Josh Allen, you talk about statement wins and young teams trying to make statement wins. This is going to be a statement win for the Bills.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be we're here, pay attention to us. It's not just the Chiefs and the Steelers. The AFC is a multi-team conference.
Oh, the AFC is going to be so good to watch. The AFC is going to be so fun to watch in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be so fun. Man, the AFC is just so, and to see these like Midwestern teams or these like heart of America teams, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Kansas City. Like those are the teams that are like on top in the AFC right now. Tennessee, Indianapolis. Like these are like the places where you find people who really love football. And these are the teams that are really, really good. And I just love the fact that these are the cities that we're looking at in the AFC this year. Man, with that said though, I love the fact that Buffalo's good. I love the fact that we have two teams in Lake Erie that are just like really good. I think the Bills are gonna win this game. I think Josh Allen seeing what Baker Mayfield, you know damn well they're all in the same draft class. They're definitely keeping tabs on each other. All five of them are keeping tabs on each other. Josh Allen's like, all right, wait, hold up, Baker Mayfield. Yeah, that was cute. Now watch what I do to the Steelers. That's going to happen. I think Josh Allen's going to have a good game. We're not going to have the Baker Mayfield Josh Allen debate today because I don't want to have it. Partially because like I don't think I can have it right now.
We can talk about it when y'all meet each other in the playoffs.
Yeah, we can talk about it when we meet in the playoffs. Hey, you know what? Baker Mayfield beat Josh Allen last year, so you got that going my way. But I'm not going to entertain that argument right now, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to win that argument. If I'll be honest. But Josh Allen, Josh, yeah, I believe in Josh. I believe in you, Josh.
I've always been a Josh Allen believer. He was. For that quarterback class, I think he was the one that I liked the most. Baker Mayfield was a close second, but I think Josh Allen was the one who I was like, that's the dude. And
I was a Josh Rosen fan.
Do what?
I was a Josh Rosen fan, believe it or not.
Yeah, I hated Josh Rosen. I thought Josh Rosen was going to be awful.
I
was right. I didn't.
He only had one season though. He only had one season.
I mean, okay, but like
season
there's a reason he only had one season. He got kicked out of Arizona. He got kicked out of Miami. And it comes down to the fact that Josh Rosen I don't think Josh Rosen wanted it, honestly.
Yeah, I think he's a douche.
I don't even know if he's a douche so much as I don't know if he wanted it. Like,
I think Josh Rosen is like, I think Josh Rosen pretty much was he was like a less flashy Manziel. Because like Manziel,
sort of like in the idea that like Rosen, I think, came from like privilege and knew that he need the NFL to survive.
But not only that, like kind of like like I kind of got to question Josh Rosen's like one of the problems, like a lot of problems with these young quarterbacks is that they is that in college they're able to have so much talent. Like in college, if you have talent, no matter what, you can just get off with your talent. And a lot of players in college just get away with working half-ass but having a lot of talent. Because there's not a lot of talent in college football. There's not as much talent in college football as there is in the NFL. In NFL, everybody have talent. So these quarterbacks who have all this talent, because I think Johnny Manziel was a very talented quarterback. I think Johnny Manziel could do things that a lot of quarterbacks couldn't do. I don't think Johnny Manziel's talent was the problem. I think Johnny Manziel's problem was that he couldn't read defenses. He didn't study. He didn't learn what you need to learn to be a quarterback. And he didn't have that work ethic, because if you want to be an NFL quarterback, you got to have the proper work ethic. You got to have some form of a very ambitious work ethic. And if you don't have that, if you don't want it, then you're not going to get it. And I think Josh Rosen, who has a beautiful throw, has a very beautiful throw, have a really good throwing ability, doesn't have that work ethic or that desire, like you said, to be an NFL quarterback. It was just like, oh, look, I made it to the NFL, great. But all he was just a quieter Manziel, man. That's all he was. He'll probably be a backup for a little while because he's quiet and people won't give him a chance because he's young. But I don't think that he's going to be anything special because I don't think he got the work ethic.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Which sucks because I think he has talent. I'm a sucker for talent. That's my problem.
So let's talk about the Cowboys and the Bengals.
Want me to go first on this one?
I want you to go first on this one because I'm the homer.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Okay.
I look at the fact that the Cowboys defense is bad. And what hasn't really been an issue for the Bengals is their defense, believe it or not. There's been times where the Bengals defense has shown
Excuse
up.
me?
I mean, let me rephrase that. The Bengals defense is an opportune defense. I talked about this last show.
Okay.
And there's been moments where the Bengals defense have kept the Bengals in games. They done it against Baltimore. They done it against the Dolphins. Those are the two times that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, they did it against Baltimore after completely shitting their pants in the first quarter.
Yeah, but my whole thing is that the Bengals defense isn't the worst defense in the league. That glory. In fact, actually, you know what though? I'm looking at lineups.com. The Bengals defense, they got the Bengals ranked 20th on defense. The 27th in points allowed. But total defensive grade, they got them ranked 20th. The Cowboys are ranked last. They think the Cowboys have the worst defense in the league. 32nd. And
so maybe Brandon Allen has a chance.
Well, yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at. Brandon Allen, he's surprisingly athletic. And I keep on saying that he's surprisingly athletic against a team that can't stop a run. A guy like Brandon Allen might be able to get a couple rushing first downs. And those quarterback rushes for first downs are momentum killers or momentum gainers. Who's playing home this game? Cincinnati or Dallas? Dallas playing Cincinnati's playing home? Yeah, give me the Bengals. Yeah, give me the Bengals. Right. Give me the Bengals. And in fact, I'll go as far to even say I'm giving T. Higgins 2 touchdowns this game.
I hope so. I got him in fantasy too.
I'm giving T. Higgins 2 touchdowns this game.
Although actually, again, it doesn't matter this week. I want T. Higgins to have 2 touchdowns next week.
Just run the freaking ball, Zach Taylor. Run the freaking ball. Have your receivers run the ball a couple of times. Run that ball. Be creative with it.
And then T. Higgins still gets 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, I think he got 2 touchdowns today.
And I think even though they run the ball the whole game?
No, I mean, I'm not saying, obviously you don't have to pass. But I think that the Bengals should. I think if I'm Zach Taylor and I have some trick plays where I have a receiver screen or receiver running the ball, or receiver reverse run or something like that, some form of that. You know what I mean? Every those plays aren't exclusive to one coach. Every coach have those plays.
Right.
Like if you're going against the worst rushing defense in the league, why not? You have fast receivers, athletic receivers. Like Tyler Boyd is really fast. Why not draw a play where Tyler Boyd can run the ball? Am I crazy for that? Am I crazy for saying that? Is that a crazy idea? Am I nuts for saying that? Why? We see receivers run the ball all the time. I'm not saying you should have it be 4 or 5 plays. I'm saying maybe 1 or 2 plays to get the Cowboys defense offset. But I do think that I think Brandon Allen's going to have a rushing first. I think Brandon Allen's going to have a couple first downs based off the run. And I think when he does that, that's going to break the back of the Dallas defense. I think the Bengals will win this game.
Look, I agree with you that I think the Bengals are going to win this game. And Bengals fans might not love hearing me say that because, they're wanting the better draft pick. They want Penei Sewell, and if we lose this game, we probably don't get Penei Sewell. But like I said, I don't think we should be rooting for losses anymore. I think we did that enough last year, and I think we got Joe Burrow, and that's all nice and fun and dandy. And tanking last year was great, but I don't think we want to tank again, guys. I don't know. But I think the Bengals are the better, more talented team, and I don't know who's favored on the betting lines, but if the Cowboys are favored, then I don't even know what the betting lines are. Because the Cowboys might be currently the worst team in the NFL. It's hard to put it on anybody else because that defense. I agree with you. I think Brandon Allen can have a decent day against this Cowboys defense. And I don't see Andy Dalton doing anything on the other side of the ball that's going to spark anything because he never did it here. So I think the Bengals win in Andy Dalton's return to Cincinnati. There's this idea among Bengals fans right now that Andy Dalton's going to march in and do Cincinnati one last favor and get Zach Taylor fired. Mm-hmm. But guys, it's Andy Dalton. Like you can be. I love Andy Dalton. I was a fan of Andy Dalton when he was here, but let's be honest. He doesn't rise to occasions. That's not what he does. He gets pulled along to occasions. That's about all he ever did. But no, give me the Bengals this week. I'm just if we don't win this week, I don't think we're going to win another game the rest of the season. Now, if we do win this week, then I could maybe see us also beating the Texans. But if we don't win this week, then I have no confidence in us the rest of the season at all. But potentially for the last time this season, I'm taking the Bengals. So let's get on to our final game. And once again, for the for the second week in a row, possibly the game of the week, and it involves the Cleveland Browns.
Hard to believe we're saying that. Yeah. Wow. Monday night, under the lights, Cleveland, Ohio, chance to make the playoffs. National television. Team that blew you out week 1. Team that stole your team. First time. Have a chance to be 10-3 for the first time since 1965, I believe. Oh my God. These players are going to be juiced up during this game. They're going to be juiced up. This Browns team, I am having so much fun watching this team this year. There's so many reasons. The attitude is just different. The culture is different. The feeling's different with this team. And the thing is that, we look at defense. The Browns actually, the Ravens' strength is running the ball. One of the things the Browns have been doing very well this year has been stopping the run. Actually, to be exact, the Browns are, let me make sure I get this correct, that I'm reading this correct. The Browns are third in the league on turnovers. And they are, according to this website, rushing yards. All right. So the Browns are 8th in rushing yards and 11th in rushing attempts. So the Browns are really good at stopping that run. Look at what they did with Derrick Henry last week. The Browns could Aaliyah Vernon, the other defensive end who lines up from the other side of Myles Garrett, have really exposed himself as a really solid defensive end to back up Myles Garrett this year. He's really emerged this year. Ever since, especially when Myles Garrett went out, Aaliyah Vernon has really stepped up his game. He's been making plays. He's been doing everything he can to make his presence known. And you got Myles Garrett. They do a really good job of stopping that run. The run is the strength of the Baltimore Ravens. If you take away the run from the Ravens kind of, I won't say collapse and crumble, but they do collapse and crumble. You get off to an early lead. The Browns get off to a lead that they did with the Titans against the Ravens. That game was over. Because the Ravens, they're not designed to come back in games. They're designed to take the lead and keep the lead. But if you get out into a big lead and the Browns have that explosive offense, they're going to come out punching, man. This is going to be a good game for Cleveland on Monday. It's going to be a glorious game for Cleveland. The Browns are back. America's team. Go Browns. Give me the Browns all day. Suck it, Baltimore. Y'all stole our team, but y'all can't steal our hearts. Fuck y'all. Go Browns.
So I take it you're taking the Ravens.
Go Browns. Taking the Browns.
Right. Yeah, I'll take the Browns too. Honestly, it has less to do. Honestly, in this case, it has less to do with anything to do with the Browns. I mean, some of it has to do with the Browns, but most of it has to do with the fact that I don't like the Ravens at all. Like from a football standpoint, I don't think that the Ravens they beat up on the Cowboys. Whoop de fucking do. But like other than that, it hasn't been that like after that, pretty good start they had to the season, it just has not. It hasn't been. They have not looked like a playoff team, and I think it would actually. I'm actually at the point where I think it would be kind of boring if the Ravens made it to the playoffs because they're just going to lose in the first round anyway. There's nothing that interests me about this team anymore, other than like could they maybe turn it around in the future? But there's I don't know there's the Browns are a much better football team right now than the Baltimore Ravens are, and I just think it's in pretty much all phases of the game. It's especially in the run game. I think Baker Mayfield is much better passing the ball than Lamar Jackson is. I think Lamar Jackson's obviously got him beat on the ground, but if the Browns can manage that run game enough, I don't think there's going to be a lot of avenues for the Ravens to get going here. And it really depends on the Browns managing the game well on offense. But if you can do that, I don't see why the Browns don't win this game. So give me the Browns to win this game and clinch their first playoff berth since 2002.
All right. I'm excited about Monday.
Yep.
And I'll never say that.
And so did we make a decision on that, by the way? Are we live streaming that game, Thomas?
We're going to try. If I can't live stream it, I might be a little bit preoccupied with the jobs on Monday. I'm going to try my best to get out of it. But we might still set up something with you and somebody else, Kyle, or something else. But we're gonna do something for that game.
I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna play it by ear because when we tried to live stream last time and then the game got like postponed, and
it kind of postponed out of our availability.
Well, no, but then I kind of ended up not to point the finger at anybody or at you or anything like that, but I ended up doing a live stream by myself and I didn't really get too much traction. And I think a lot of that had to do with I think a lot of that also had to do with the schedule kind of like moving back, and I think a lot of interest got lost. I think in this case, we're just I think what we're probably going to do is I'll just say on the podcast, if anybody's listening and you want to follow it on Monday, we're going to try to live stream that game. I'm not going to make any promises right now, but we're going to kind of play it by ear, see what we can do. And if it makes sense for us to try to live stream that game, we're going to try to live stream it, and we can all hang out and have some fun. So we'll see what happens on Monday.
Well, we will do some drinking games though. Bring a beer. No shit. Bring some vodka.
Man, I'm bringing beer. I don't have vodka. I might have whiskey though. I might have whiskey.
We're gonna live stream that shit, man. I'm gonna see if I can dig that game off, man. We're getting drunk. Come get drunk with us. We're getting lit.
Stupid. All right. Well, thanks for watching the predictions for Week 14, everybody. We'll be back We'll be back around the beginning of next week with the Week 14 predictions recap to see what happened. Once again, the Patriots-Rams game does not count because we didn't get those predictions in on time. Rams won. Sounds like Thomas would have got that one right and I would have got that one wrong, but hey, I dodged a bullet there. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget to listen to the main episode of the podcast where we talked about the Bengals and the Browns' upcoming games and then a little bit of the state of the AFC North. Find this channel on YouTube, the Battle of Ohio podcast. Looking eventually to getting on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the various different platforms. Find me at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter and Facebook.com/Phelps. Find Thomas at T_star 94 on Twitter and Instagram, and Blowdown Page on YouTube. And yeah, thanks for listening, and Hoo Day.
Go Browns.